Hello everyone. Today in this video we are going to study about Renaissance in Kerala. Renaissance means rebirth. It was a moment that started in Italy where the desire to learn and know was revived. It helped humanity to progress. Renaissance in Kerala refers to the period of the last decades of the 19th century. It was a time where the manifestation for a social change started to gain momentum. A transition towards modernity and progress after decades of socio-political immobility was evident. There are many reasons that caused the change or triggered the movement. The first one was the colonial impact. The next one, the works of the missionaries, education provided to the various stratas of the society, and finally, the politics of European propagation of humanism. The colonized were treated as barbaric by the colonizer. The West, in fact, committed many atrocities upon the rest of the world, claiming to make everyone more civilized and humanized. This was the politics of European propagation of humanism. It is only right to say that the leaders in Kerala imbibed the true essence of this intention and strived hard to uplift the downtrodden from the brutal treatments of the mainstream community. Kerala was a land where casteism ruled or governed the state. Now let's analyze the reasons for the beginning of the revolution. The society was split into various castes and a hierarchy existed permitting a code of conduct to people based on their caste. The ruthless rule of untouchability and unapproachability was practiced. The society was split into Savarnas and Avarnas, and the Avarnas were the untouchable. The Savarnas included the Nampudiris, the Kshatriyas, and Nayars, and they enjoyed a lot of privileges. Ironically, the marginalized constituted the majority population, and the practice of untouchability and unapproachability made their life miserable. The attempt of the revolution or the revolutionaries was to eradicate this system and create a tolerant society. In order to understand the seriousness of the issue or why such a series of revolution was a dire need of the society, we need to understand the life of the marginalized. They were constantly subjected to demeaning, dehumanizing, and humiliating experiences. They were treated as lesser humans and were kept at a distance from the mainstream and the privileged classes. They were constantly reminded of their worthlessness, and practices like keeping their mouth covered while speaking to upper class people were enforced upon them. Further, if they came closer, the people of superior classes performed rituals to cleanse them. Not only were their mannerisms dictated, but rules on what they could wear, eat, and even speak was set by the upper class people. They were denied to enter public spaces like roads and temple ponds, and also social institutions like schools and temples. Renaissance in Kerala was a quest to have a more dignified life. It was the rebirth of the spirit of inquiry, a rereading of the laws that determined life in the land. It was a curative process where the wounds inflicted by inhuman practices were to be healed. It also should be noted that the revolt was initiated by the sidelined for their own sake. It was not started by the upper class and followed by the subordinate classes. There were organizations like the Brahma Samaj and the Arya Samaj, but that was not sufficient to bring in a radical change. The revolts in Kerala were the purest expression of the resurgence of humanism all across the country. Another important point to be noted is that the social movements in Kerala aligned with the freedom movements all over India. Vaikam Satyagraha was the first among the many revolutions that took place in Kerala for begetting equal rights. The many efforts resulted in enlightenment, which in turn led to the secularization of the state and the formation of a caste-ridden society. In the coming videos, we will know about or learn about the various satyagrahas that took place and the many leaders that led the fight for the marginalized. Thank you.